Zach Miller, how are you?
I am good, not quite so tired anymore.
Yeah. Keep the mic a little closer. Yeah,
Okay.
so we can hear you. Voilà, Zach Miller donc, qui a fait le show hier, c'était absolument fantastique. Il nous a régalé comme il nous a régalé l'année dernière sur la CCC quand il a pris la victoire avec un style qui lui est propre, hein, c'est-à-dire qu'il y a deux vitesses, hein, c'est 0 et à fond. Et quand il part à fond, ça fait des dégâts. Et l'année dernière, ça a été absolument incroyable comme il a gagné la CCC. Cette année, il a repris exactement la même stratégie. Ça a été un peu plus difficile sur la fin et on va essayer de voir un peu comment ça s'est passé et comment il l'a vécu. So Zach, you kind of a one-man show, and for close to 85 miles, you've kept us in awe. It's like, how is that man doing this? You went out like all out, like you're. I mean, this is your style basically. You go hard right from the start, not questioning anything and not worrying about whoever is behind in front of you. It's just like you go your pace and hope for the best. Last year, it played out pretty damn well because you crushed CCC. This year, it just quite didn't have it all the way, and we saw you like kind of fading a little bit. And how did you experience that from the inside? Because it seemed like so painful. But we know you. We know you're familiar with the pain cave, and you're able to push through it. But like from your perspective, like from your words, how did you feel? How did you experience the final 15 miles of the race?
The final 15 miles. Yeah, it was the final 15, 20 miles. It was just, I just felt like I was just done. I mean, if it would have just been pain, that would have been one thing, but I just didn't. It was strange. It was strange. I'm not sure. I've had points that have probably been more painful in racing before, but I could still push.
Yeah.
And yesterday for the last 15, 20 miles, it was almost like I just couldn't push. Like part of me wanted to push and part of me didn't want to push. I just wanted to finish. But it was strange. I'm still kind of trying to figure it out. I said to someone, I don't know if it was mental or physical or nutritional. It may have been a combination of all three. But I think part of the struggle was that it was all or nothing for me. I was going for the win, and once the win didn't look like it was there, that's very tough mentally. I would always hope that I would still fight, but it was very hard to fight that last 20 miles. It wasn't. I was not going to abandon or stop, but it was basically my legs just felt done. They didn't want to go up and they didn't want to go down. Usually in past races, they won't want to go down, but they will still fight going up. And yesterday they just wouldn't really fight going up and they wouldn't really fight going down. And maybe if it would have been a flat road the rest of the way, I may have been okay. But I was just pretty done, and I was just kind of struggling out there.
Voilà, donc je lui ai posé la question, hein, comment ça s'est passé. C'est vrai qu'à l'année dernière à la CCC, c'est une stratégie qui avait marché, hein, partir à fond et puis finir à fond. C'est quelqu'un qui est très très solide, donc du coup, ouais, ça fonctionne. Là sur l'UTMB, même stratégie. Et puis voilà, sur la fin, c'est un peu bloqué. Bon, Zach, c'est un coureur qui vient, qui n'a pas peur de le dire. Hein, il vient, c'est tout ou rien. Il vient pour la victoire. Et donc du coup, quand il a vu que c'était plus possible, c'était assez difficile mentalement de continuer à pousser. Alors à aucun moment il s'est dit que j'abandonne. Hein, ça c'est vraiment pas son attitude. Mais il disait que ça a été beaucoup plus difficile. Il ne sait pas encore exactement ce qui s'est passé, hein, parce que encore une fois, il a confirmé, il est habitué à se faire mal sur des courses et il s'est déjà fait beaucoup plus mal sur d'autres courses. Mais malheureusement, là, il ne sait pas trop encore. Malgré une première analyse, il ne s'est pas encore identifié exactement ce qui s'est passé. Il pense que c'est un petit peu les jambes qui ont lâché, c'est un petit peu dans la tête. Il pense qu'au niveau de la nutrition, ça aurait pu être un peu mieux, mais que d'habitude, même quand il est vraiment mal dans les courses, les jambes ne tiennent plus sur les descentes, mais ça tient encore en montée. Là, ça tenait ni sur les montées ni sur les descentes, donc ça devenait vraiment compliqué. Mais bon, au final, voilà, hein, c'est comme ça. Et encore une fois, c'est un coup de poker, c'est tout ou rien. Bon, là, ça n'a pas été rien non plus, hein, parce qu'il n'a pas abandonné loin de là. Et puis, il fait une magnifique 6e place. Hein, top 10 à l'UTMB, ça reste très honorable. Et donc, on va voir comment il envisage la suite. Okay, so all or nothing. It wasn't really nothing. I'm sure you're pretty happy about where you finished.
Yeah, I mean, I was going for the win, and it would have been nice to stay in the top 3 at the end, but to be honest, in some ways, when I was out there, it kind of there didn't seem to be a whole lot of difference to me whether it was second or 7th. I mean, it would have been very nice to be 2 or 3, but the main goal was to win. I ran the way I wanted. I'm proud of how I ran, and I feel like I came very close, and yet those last 20 or 30 miles were just very tough. So it motivates me for the future, and I will think it through and see how I can improve. But I'm proud of what I did, and I basically did what I wanted and came very close, and it just wasn't quite able to finish it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the most important part. Like you should not have any regrets. You showed up knowing that your name was in the starting line. Like everybody had expectations, and you certainly delivered. For like going that hard from the start. We were all like going crazy. Like after the first slam, you had 3.5 minutes. And I was like, what? Like it was absolutely insane. So I mean, you certainly delivered, and I think people really appreciate it as well. To have pardon the saying, but to have the balls to go for it that early into the race and risking, yes, to go for the win, obviously, but risking to go like a full 170K on your own. And that mentally would have been quite a strong challenge. I mean, we know you spend a lot of time in the mountains training on your own. This is something you like, but racing-wise, maybe there's something that could drain you a little bit more.
Yeah, and really, I had a lot of fun out there. I mean, I was having a great time basically all day. I felt like it went really well all the way to La Folie, especially to Courmayeur.
Yeah.
I felt like I ran really well. I hit a very low point mentally and physically coming out of Courmayeur on that climb. And Tim did too. I'm not sure if it's just the time of day. Our bodies thought they should be sleeping maybe.
Oh, right.
But then I bounced back and I found a rhythm, and I ran all the way to Switzerland and all the way to La Folie well. And then and at La Folie I was doing very well. One of the photographers was like, "You're going to win," and I was like, "Well, it's still very long, long way to go." So I feel like I came so close. At La Folie, it started. I could start to entertain the idea of winning, but I was also trying not to, because I knew it was still a long way out. But I just feel like, for being my first go at it, getting that far, feeling that good, and really only, because I think I really only had about one low patch from the start to La Folie, and that's in my mind that's really good. If I can go that far without really any low patches, and then it was just they were all waiting for me at the end. So if I can figure out how not to have low patches in the last 20, 30 miles of the race, it could be very exciting. But
if you
I
figure
just have
that
to
out,
figure that out.
if you figure that out, don't tell anyone because
Okay.
a lot of people are like, wondering about it.
Keep it a secret. Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Voilà, donc je vais traduire quand même. Voilà, Zach donc, voilà, et a aucun regret. Il est super content de la course qu'il a fait, malgré ne pas avoir accompli son but de gagner la course. Mais voilà, en faisant l'analyse de sa course, il se dit bon, bah, c'était quand même pas si mal parce qu'il a eu toute une première partie de course jusqu'à Courmayeur absolument parfaite, facile. Il s'est senti bien. Ensuite, il a eu un très très mauvais moment en sortant de Courmayeur sur la prochaine montée. Et il disait que Tim avait eu exactement le même problème. Alors, est-ce que c'est un problème de décalage horaire? Il se pensait que c'était peut-être dû à ça. Toujours est-il que voilà, ensuite ça a été encore une fois très 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 bien jusqu'à la folie, et donc ensuite ça a été un peu plus compliqué, mais ce qu'il dit c'est que si je peux avoir qu'un seul mauvais moment en courant à cette allure depuis le départ jusqu'à la folie, bah finalement c'est plutôt un bon signe, et c'est quelque chose sur le quoi je vais capitaliser, et ensuite la seule chose qui me reste, le seul mystère qui me reste à résoudre entre guillemets, c'est de savoir comment tenir et comment pas avoir de mauvaises sensations sur la fin de course, sur les 30-40 derniers kilomètres. So yeah, you're talking about like how to sort out the finish of the race. Maybe this is something you can discuss with your partners because they both finished pretty strong. Mm-hmm. However, Team admitted that he was very grateful that you went out so hard because you did a lot of damage with the other competitors.
Yeah, I think they asked us before the race if we would work together, and I think we worked together indirectly because I know that if I know that that Tim and David tend to hang back, yep, and I tend to go out front, and I know that so we're not running side by side, but I know that sometimes that may be the best team strategy because if I take it out hard and everybody chases and they look in the back. If I have a good day and stay away, then it's great for the team, and if I don't, then usually there is a lot of
carnage.
There's a lot of carnage between me and them that they are very good at picking up, and I think that's kind of what we did yesterday.
That is exactly.
I made a mess of things up front, and then they came up and cleaned up, so we had a very, very strong team finish.
That's interesting, and yeah, that is indeed a very cool like team strategy, team effort. None of you pretty much ran together, but still like somehow your different race styles played out well.
We all saw each other at the end because Tim caught me first, and he went on. I kind of tried to go with him, but there just wasn't much left to give, and. Then David caught me with about 4 miles left, and I was very impressed by they're great teammates. As you know, they're very strong and they don't quit. And Tim ran strong all the way to the finish, and David as well. He was very, very impressive with 4 miles to go. He was still charging, he was probably hoping that he would still catch top 3 like last year. But he took off out of Les Flagiers, like he was fighting for first place, basically. He was flying quite fast down the hill, and I tried, and it motivated me to pick up my pace. My legs were not having it, but I was very impressed by David, how much fight David showed very, very late in the race.
Okay. Voilà, donc on parlait ensuite d'un esprit d'équipe. Je posais la question à Tim tout à l'heure. Est-ce que vous aviez une stratégie pour travailler ensemble, pour essayer de faire le job en 3 coureurs? Et puis Zach m'apporte une réponse qui est super intéressante, c'est que même si on n'a pas travaillé ensemble, le fait qu'on ait des styles de course différents, ça fait vraiment, ça a marché pour le Team Nike. Le fait que moi je parte devant très très fort, si ça tient, c'est génial parce que ça fait une première place pour le Team Nike et c'est parfait. Mais si j'explose, tous ceux qui auront essayé de me suivre aussi exploseront, et puis derrière c'est David et puis Tim qui arriveront à ramasser les miettes et puis à remonter dans le classement. C'est ce qui s'est passé hier, donc il n'y a pas de regret non plus de ce côté-là, et puis on voit que c'est une stratégie de team qui est assez intéressante finalement, et en tout cas à aucun moment ils ont couru ensemble, mais quand Tim a passé Zach a essayé de s'accrocher, mais bon, ça a été compliqué, et puis quand ils sont arrivés à la flégère, eh ben, c'était au tour de David de rattraper Zach. Et Zach était vraiment impressionné par l'allure et la détermination de David pour cette fin de course, comme s'il se battait pour aller chercher une première place. Voilà, donc on va vous laisser ici et on va tourner une petite page de pub avant de vous retrouver. Ne nous quittez pas, on a encore des interviews qui arrivent. Merci d'être avec nous. Merci Zach. Thank you very much for putting such a show, and hopefully we'll see you here next year.
Yeah, I think it will be. I will see, but I think it will be very hard to say no to next year. I'm pretty intrigued to come back and try and figure it out.
Excellent. Well, we hope to see you next year anyway.
Okay, thank you.
All right.